Hey guys, so this is not so much of an update as it is a second video to kind of be a sequel to the last one about masks. Um, in the last week or so, masks have experienced a huge shortage. We are very fortunate to find even a single mask in the stores locally. Most of the places are sold out. Many stores are still not open, and online it's almost impossible to get masks. And in fact, this is a global shortage now. I've read several stories of people in other countries who work in construction or work in hospitals who aren't able to get masks to use for their jobs because there's a shortage due to the shortage here in China. So suppliers are not giving the masks to these other companies; they're sending it back to China. So this is a really big issue. And a second part of the issue is that in some areas, in many areas now in China, it's required to wear a mask if you're outside, especially in public areas. And in some areas, it's even so extreme that you can be arrested for not wearing a mask. So what do? If you have to wear a mask but you don't have a new mask, well then a lot of people are going to probably start washing and reusing masks, which, as I stated in the last video, is possibly even more dangerous than not wearing a mask at all because of the germs collecting in that moist environment. So this is a last resort. Making your own masks, which is what this video is going to be about, is a last resort. I really want to emphasize that. That's the first thing, the first caveat that I want to make in this video. This is not an option for you if you can get an actual mask, whether that's a surgical mask, the flimsy kind, or a really nice N95 respirator, or something even nicer than that. If you can get those masks, that should be the first option. But if you don't have that ability, if those masks are gone and you're stuck with reusing old masks, well then you don't want to do that. This is probably the option for you. The second thing I want to mention about these DIY masks is this is not my own invention. This is coming from researchers, from experts in the field that are working here in China at the Hong Kong Shenzhen Hospital. So this is an invention from them, not from me. And one of the things that was said in an article is that it's 90% as effective as a surgical mask. Now, to me, that quote is a little bit unclear because if we're talking about the really cheap kind of surgical masks that I talked about in the last video, those are not super effective at all. They can contain the spread, but they can't really protect you from the air coming in. So if it's 90% as effective as that, well, that's something, but it's not a whole lot. But basically what this mask does is it protects your face from droplets in the air, people coughing, sneezing on you, and also it's something on your face that will make you not touch your own face with your hands that might have the virus on them. So that's something. And also it offers eye protection, which is nice and something that's in short supply at the moment here in China. So let's take a look at how to make this mask and then we'll see how it feels. So these are the supplies you're going to need to make this disposable DIY mask. The first is a pack of rubber bands. You're going to need at least 4 to attach the mask to your face. You're also going to need a pair of reading glasses. You're going to need a stapler. I've used a stapler here. They recommend a hole punch, but I prefer a stapler, and I'll explain why in a bit. Also, you're going to need some packing tape, some tissue paper, and at least 2 sheets or 2-ply of hand towel. Finally, you're going to need scissors to cut up the plastic and cut the mask, and you're going to need some clear plastic. This is going to form a face guard. And one thing that I didn't mention in this little part of the video is you're also going to need a small metal strip. We'll get to that in a little bit. So the first thing you're going to do to make the mask is you're going to take the 2-ply of paper towel, and between them you're going to set the tissue paper inside. You want that somewhat centered. That's just going to give you somewhat of a better filter for the air to pass through. Then you're going to tape the 2 sides of the paper towel together using packing tape. Now in the official version of this, they had the tissue paper right up directly against your face. I've changed that. I put it between because I feel that if you have the tissue paper against your face, it's going to get wet and it's going to start to peel, and that's going to make you want to touch your face, and you want to avoid that at all costs. So what we're doing is we're putting it in between so that what's touching your face is the hand towel, which is slightly more durable. Next, we're going to attach the rubber bands to the corners of the mask. In the official tutorial, they used a hole punch and they threaded the rubber bands through the holes, but I feel that's going to probably tear through the mask pretty quickly. So I've used a stapler, and that seems to be much more durable. The next thing to do is to add this metal strip to the bridge of the nose, and that'll just help you to form fit it to your face a little better. Now I'm using an old nose piece from a mask that I was about to throw out, so if you're going to be doing that, make sure that you disinfect it. So wash it with soap and warm water. Make sure you kill any germs that might be on there. And as an added layer of protection, I've taped it over so that it doesn't touch my face or my hands in any way. The next thing is to take this plastic sheet, this binder, and cut it in half, and then we're going to affix it to the glasses. In the official tutorial there, they mentioned using binder clips, but I don't have any binder clips, so I'm using tape. Alright, so that's it. It's pretty easy to actually make the mask, but let's try it on now. So this is the face part of the mask. It actually, honestly, it feels a lot like a surgical mask. The texture and the weight, the quality, probably the price too. I know this isn't going to look great. You know, to be honest, it's actually a tighter seal than the surgical masks because the rubber bands give you a lot more tension than the kind of loose elastic cloth bands that come with the regular surgical mask. So this actually feels very similar to a surgical mask. I know this is going to hurt the ears after a while because of these. You could put something behind your ears if you wanted to, but you really shouldn't be wearing something like this for a long time if you're outside. Now let's try the eye protection. I know this is going to look ridiculous. But you know, if it's a choice between getting arrested, getting sick, or looking ridiculous, well then, what are you going to do? I hate that it's come to this, but again, last resort. If you're out and about and you need to get out and you're running out of masks, then this might be your only option. Hopefully, over the next coming days and weeks, the factories will get back on their feet and we'll see more masks out there in the markets and online. But until then, this might be what we're stuck with. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.